Hey, I was wondering if you could help me out. I've had this Trigger 7 Pro for a few seasons. I think it's time to upgrade to that new Trigger 8 Pro.
Trigger 8 Pro? That's old news. They're on sale over there.
What?
Check this out, Trigger 9.
What? We're on 9 already? It feels like just yesterday we got the Trigger 8 Pro. With CCM dropping a new iteration of their sticks every year, it's already time for us to check out the Trigger 9 Pro. So today I'm gonna go over my first impressions. We're gonna test it against some of its predecessors, and I'll let you know if you should upgrade from the Trigger 8 to the Trigger 9. Let's do it. Here's a familiar favorite, the Trigger 8 Pro, but let's take a look at the new one. Ty, there we go. Trigger 9 Pro, Trigger 8 Pro. First impressions. This one's looking a lot more muted, way less purple than the Trigger 8 Pro. As you can see, they kind of went with just a thin purple line. I think that looks pretty cool. Something definitely interesting they added. What is that? These kind of black splatters here. It's kind of cool. Reminds me of like a skin on a gun in Call of Duty. Definitely interesting though. I've never seen that before. It's obviously not on the Trigger 8 Pro. That might hide some damage on your stick once it starts getting beat up, but yeah, definitely a unique look. And then similar grips on these sticks. They both have that kind of raised textured lines going down and tacky grip overall. So the grip is good. Definitely looks are muted on the Trigger 9 Pro though. And I will say, I think this is more of a evolution than a revolution, seeing as these sticks definitely look pretty similar still. All right, let's dive into the specs on the Trigger 9 Pro. Some carryovers. It's still got that E-shaped shaft that you've loved on the Trigger 8 Pro. It's got that asymmetrical taper, which is kind of that concavity right here on the lower part of the stick. An upgrade this year, we put this on our scale. It weighed in at 360 grams, which is pretty light. The Trigger 8 Pro weighed in at 380 grams on our scale, so definitely an upgrade in weight there. Feels pretty light. Some of the new features on this stick, it now features the helicoid blade, which we saw on the AS6 Pro. So what that is, they layer the carbon fiber in the blade on different angles, which adds a lot of rigidity. It's gonna be a lot stronger of a blade, but it still features that dual feel technology from the Trigger 8 Pro. So you're gonna get a lot of puck feel on this stick, which is really nice. They've also optimized the kick point of the stick. So they actually made it softer down here where the taper is. So this is really gonna help with quick releases and getting your shot off as easy as possible. Like I said earlier, I think this stick is more of an evolution than a revolution when it comes to the Trigger lineup, but we're gonna see if these upgrades will help it out in the shooting room. Ty's taped a couple of them up, so I don't know which is gonna be which. We're gonna do some blind testing. Let's do it. All right guys, we're in the shooting room. I have the Trigger 7 Pro, Trigger 8 Pro, Trigger 9 Pro. All disguised by Ty here. They're covered in tape. I don't know which one is which. I'm gonna be shooting them today and blindly feeling which one I like the best. I'm gonna do initial hand feel, then I'm gonna shoot them, see how they shoot, and then Ty's gonna rip some pucks at the blade while I'm holding the stick to see if I can feel that dual feel technology in the blade. So let's do this thing. I've got stick number 1 here. Feels pretty good in the hands. Decently light, but I'm not gonna know that until I compare it to the other ones. But overall, not too heavy. It feels pretty balanced even with all this tape on it. We'll do a couple stick handles. All right, right off the bat, this feels pretty good, but all the sticks in the Trigger lineup feel pretty good, so that doesn't really help me decipher at all. Let's take some shots with mystery stick number 1. It had that good hand feel. Let's see how it shoots. Oops. Whew. Man, whatever this stick is, shoots really well. I can feel that low kick point kind of whipping while you're shooting. Feels really cool. Kind of like when we add those True sticks, the True 9X3, you can kind of feel the whip in a good way. I can definitely feel that with this stick too. You can kind of feel it load up and whip out the puck from your hands. So shooting feels really good with mystery stick number 1. Ty's gonna rip a couple passes at these blades I'm gonna see if they feel dampened with that dual feel technology. Now remember, the Trigger 7 Pro does not have the dual feel, so that might give it away if it's not feeling dampened, but let's see. All right. Not bad. Okay, give me one more. All right, I wasn't feeling too many harsh vibrations through the stick. It is covered in tape, but that felt pretty good. Didn't feel too rigid. This might have some dual feel in it. All right, mystery stick number 2. I might be in trouble here, guys, because this is also feeling really light. Very balanced as well. Oh man, let's do a little stick handling. All right, this thing's feeling pretty good. Very similar to stick number 1. I might say stick number 1 has a little bit better balance, tiny bit less blade heaviness, but pretty hard to tell. They're very similar. Let's shoot some pucks with this thing. This stick shoots really good too. Man, this is gonna be a struggle. Mystery stick number 2 had some really good shots. I think I might have had maybe 1 or 2 bar downs more with mystery stick number 1, but both of these things had an awesome pop and really quick release. Ty's gonna rip some more pucks at the blade of this thing. All right. Not bad. Give me one more. Okay, interesting. On that last one there, the puck just stopped right on the blade, so I feel like this has some dual feel in it. Man, pretty good dampening. Right now, it's pretty neck and neck between stick number 1 and stick number 2. I'm gonna give the edge to stick number 1 though. I think it shot a little bit better, feels a tiny bit lighter, but the dampening on both of these blades felt pretty good. Let's move on to stick number 3. Hand feel. Again, guys, I think I'm in trouble. This feels very similar to the other ones. Really light, but just like stick number 2, I don't think it has the same balance that stick number 1 had. Very hard to tell though. They all feel pretty good. Let's stick handle a little bit. All right, pretty good. Let's shoot this thing. Wow. The Trigger lineup is just unreal because all of these sticks have felt awesome to shoot with. They're pretty neck and neck. I'm still giving the edge to stick number 1, but 2 and 3 are really close. Ty, rip some pucks at this thing. Let's see if this has that dual feel technology. Okay. All right, bit of a bounce on that one. Okay, one more. Honestly, kind of hard to tell, but I did see a puck bounce decently far off this one. So maybe this one's lacking that dual feel. Definitely hard to tell. They all felt good stick handling though, so kind of confusing me. I guess it's time to rank these things after my blind testing. In first place, I'm going with stick number 1. This one just shot the best. It felt like it had the best balance. I mean, this thing felt like a weapon. Clear winner for sure is stick number 1. Now where it gets tricky for me is between stick number 2 and 3. This could honestly go either way. I don't know which one is which, and they both felt very, very good. I'm gonna give the edge to stick number 2. I think it maybe just had a little bit more pop, and that release felt really smooth. So stick number 2 is in second place, and then in third place is stick number 3, but not by a large margin. All of these sticks felt very good, and I don't think you could go wrong with either one of them. I honestly don't know what was what, and if I could take any of them home, I think I would and be using them as my next stick, but stick number 1 just had that crazy release, crazy pop. Felt like a breeze to shoot this thing. Let's unwrap them and see how I ranked. All right, let's unveil stick number 3. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? Stick number 3 is Trigger 7 Pro. Okay, I'm liking the way I ranked so far. That's good. We didn't give the oldest stick first place today, but for a 3-year-old stick, this thing really performed. It was hanging out with a brand new stick and a top of the line stick from last year. So shout out to the Trigger 7 Pro. This thing can hang. All right, mystery stick number 2 unveiling. Now between stick number 2 and number 3, I probably could have just flipped a coin. They both felt really good and really similar. Let's see what we got here. All right, grand reveal. Trigger 8 Pro, stick number 2, second place. So that's pretty impressive for the Trigger 7 Pro that it could have been in a coin toss with the Trigger 8 Pro. They both felt awesome. These are both really good sticks. But you know what that means? That means that stick number 1 is the all-new Trigger 9 Pro. This thing shot unreal. It felt automatic when I was shooting pucks with this thing. And that Trigger 8 Pro and Trigger 7 Pro are tough sticks to beat. This one did it, so maybe check this one out. To answer the big question, should you upgrade? I'm gonna say, if you need a new stick, I would choose the Trigger 9 Pro. This thing just feels unreal. Automatic release. I love that kick point, and the blade feels really nice. But if you have one of these 2 sticks in your arsenal and they're still hanging on fine for you, I wouldn't switch just yet. These things are still really good, and as long as they're lasting for you, keep using it. All right, guys, there you have it. You actually can feel the upgrades on the Trigger 9 Pro, even though it feels like these sticks are coming out every other day. This thing feels awesome. If you want to get your own, go to the Hockey Shop or thehockeyshop.com and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.